Gaming Geek here with a Kickstarter preview video. This is Lost Colony Spaceship Graveyard from Saucermen Studios. This is their second Kickstarter. Their first one was Ordis Station, which was a bunch of other sci-fi terrain. What I liked about that first campaign is that they had a lot of modular buildings that you could configure your space station to whatever size that you wanted. But with the second Kickstarter, they are featuring what really I am interested in, which is wrecked spaceships. You don't see a ton of STL files having wreckage of spaceships, but the thing I really like about this is that these pieces are really big, as they should be. Spaceships should be massive. And so I really like this set, and at least a sample that Saucermen Studios sent me of these preview files to print up, I really like them a lot because they are so big. And in fact, if you look at their Facebook page and see some of the other files that are going to be coming out, this piece here, which I think is huge, is actually one of the smaller pieces because other sections of the spaceship is going to be about this big and cover a 4x4 tabletop really quickly. I have my orc boys here just for scale to show you how big this piece is, and these pieces are also modular as well. Using the standardized open lock system, you can take these apart and reconfigure them if you want. Now, I'm probably going to keep this all together as one piece, but if I wanted to, I could make these pieces a little bit shorter or longer or what have you. But I do have a painting tutorial at the end of this video, so if you're interested in seeing how I painted up my pieces, this is a super quick and fast way to make wreckage or pieces that look like they have been around for a long time with rust effects on them. So stick around if you really want to see that video. I'm also impressed that it has a good amount of scatter terrain. For example, this little bit of wreckage and a punched out can here that can be for fuel or something like that. And then I made this actually an active reactor, and this works well as an objective that all of the players are going for or something like that. And also, there's a bunch of scatter terrain, and again, Saucermen Studios made them large. So you're going to be able to cover your table pretty quickly with this core set. I know there's going to be 80 pieces, and hopefully with all of the unlocks, that will get into the hundreds pretty quickly. So let's see what we can do in unlocking more terrain pieces with stretch goals. This campaign is going to be starting in February of 2021 on the 23rd, Tuesday the 23rd, so fairly soon. And Saucermen Studios was kind enough to offer up 2 giveaways for my Patreon supporters. And so if you're interested in that, go to my Patreon page and check out what the GGGG is for this month. Each month, Bob the Beholder picks a couple Patreon supporters to be receiving gratitude gifts. And right away, this coming Sunday before the campaign starts, just to kick things off, Bob is going to be choosing 2 of my Patreon supporters to be receiving an all-in pledge, not only for this Kickstarter, but also for their first Kickstarter, the Ordis Station. So sign up to be a Patreon supporter to be able to get a chance to be chosen for the GGGG. Also, at the end of the month, Bob the Beholder is going to be picking another Patreon supporter to receive this set here, without my orc boys, obviously. But I'll be mailing to one Patreon supporter this set that Bob chooses at the end of the month, which is our normal time of Bob doing the picks. There is a good amount of detail on here, and even though I didn't necessarily choose to paint up all of the details, go ahead and go over to their Facebook page because someone did an alternative paint job. It looked like they used an airbrush, but you can easily use the painting style that I had, whatever color that you want. Even on the inside here, we see a lot of really nice details that you can pick out different colors as well. And I just love the ribbing on these pieces. I think that looks awesome. As I've said in some of my previous videos, the reason why I like wreckage over sort of intact ships or buildings is because you get a lot of ability to have line of sight or crossfire in between or through buildings. And so that's one of the things that I like about this ruin set, is that you're going to be able to have line of sight through some of this wreckage so that you're not just plopping this huge piece right in the middle and you just have to walk around or jump on top in order to have line of sight. So this is a set that I'm really excited about. All of the pieces do print without supports, and I print all of my pieces at 0.2 millimeter height, both on my Prusa MK3S as well as my Ender 5. Make sure to go check out the Kickstarter page and sign up, and you'll be notified when it launches. I think there might be an early bird discount, so that might be something you want to jump in on, and links in the descriptions below. So hopefully you're excited about this Kickstarter campaign like I am, and looking forward to seeing more from Saucermen Studios. Like and subscribe and check out my Patreon page. For those of you who are interested, we will jump into the painting tutorial, but otherwise, happy gaming, happy hobbying. We'll see you next time. So after I prime all of the pieces with black flat spray primer, I just use Rust-Oleum 2x Ultra Cover. I'm going to go ahead and mask off just a little bit of this section. And this is just to break up, because this is a lot of flat area, and I just want to break up the flat plane with a little bit of variation in color. So I'm just going to mask this off. I'm going to go ahead and grab some Williamsburg blue, grab a stiff horsehair brush, and then just put a little bit of color on, not a ton. And you're purposefully making it uneven. Just dab it in here like this, and you can choose to sponge this stuff on as well. But the key to making it look weathered is to have inconsistencies in the paint rather than it being really smooth. Alright, that's pretty much it, and you can peel off the tape when you're done. You have a nice clean line. That looks sort of cool, and you can do any color that you want, obviously. Now I'm grabbing some Rookwood Red and using, again, just a stiff brush, and just gonna similarly, just very lightly, and even over some of the blue that the gray blue that I just put on. I'm gonna be putting on this rust over everything. And you're just sort of randomly picking spots to emphasize the rust. I mean, you don't want to put it evenly over everything. You want it to be intentionally sort of splotchy, like so. Next I'm grabbing Folk Art Metallic Gunmetal Gray and doing the same thing with my brush here, where I am just splotching on a little bit of silver, not too much. Just creating some spots where silver is going to be showing through a little bit. And I'm actually a little bit more sparse on this than with the rusty color. Because if you put too much silver on, then the whole thing looks more new rather than really rusted out. So just be careful. And these are going to be spots that are going to be rubbed off more recently, where the rust and paint might have been rubbed off somehow. So see how sparse I'm being with the silver, not really putting a ton of it on, but just enough so that people can recognize that this is rusted out steel for the most part. And I tend to put a little bit more on the internals that are showing through, like the guts. And then I'll just add some color where you want it. Like this is a working reactor. That could be a good objective. And then on here I added some color variation, a little bit of green down here on this bottom part, and then the same gray blue up here at the top. Again, just a little bit of color. And then in here with the pipes, I added a little bit of green here. But you don't really need that much color, just a tad bit. And I think overall as ruins, something that's been around and rusting, a hulk like this, the color looks pretty good.